All right, so we're at the toy barn for the reveal, and so I was like, ooh, snap. I knew I heard something wicked. Dang.
Wow.
Dang. Yo. Yo. Yo.
Wow.
Yo. So next thing you know,
Nuts.
ooh wee. Ooh. Ooh wee. Great.
Look at the right color.
Oh. Nuts.
Yeah, that deserves 2 parking spots. It does. God damn. Oh my goodness.
Wow. I'm speechless.
I knew it was gonna be. I knew it was gonna be. Yeah, that's proper. That's proper. That's proper.
I mean, the color is great. I'll finish up the film. Just how it looks in different lights.
I love this suit.
Right.
I love that contrast of the gloss and the matte. Like the gloss on the wheels, then you got the matte. Yes, sir.
Ooh, I'm getting your video. Sorry.
Yes, sir.
This is nice.
Down there for a long time.
And you see how glossy.
Oh yeah, compared to like the Avery. Yeah, that looks like glass.
Doesn't even look like a wrap.
That looks like glass. This is a true matte as opposed to a satin too.
Correct, but it has a metallic element to it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see just by how the light changes. I mean, just looking at the different panels as the light, bounces across it. It's a little bit more than your typical matte,
So you want to get some pictures?
The Audi looks great. It's obviously a matte. This is just because of the pigment in there.
Yeah, it's got that.
Yeah.
This is like one of my favorite wrap colors.
That looks.
I want this on everything.
I know. I told him, I was like, I love the color on my Beetle, but this is gorgeous.
Yeah, this is the prettiest color I've seen.
That looks.
And then in all the different angles when it's really bright out, you're gonna just admire it.
That, yeah, it looks special.
It just takes it up.
Proper. That's what I feel on the right.
But it's glossy, you know. It looks customized. It looks like nothing else you've seen.
My name is Will Motivation, and I am a YouTuber that likes to share my experiences owning supercars. And I have a special treat for you guys today. I am introducing my one-of-one Lamborghini Aventador SV. I wanted to do a special video to introduce the one-of-one Lamborghini Aventador SV that I purchased a few months ago, but the car was originally Rosso Mars Red from Lamborghini, but I've already got a red Lamborghini Huracan that I've wrapped with the, my dream color, which is a satin chrome red as well. And so I wanted to do something special with my Lamborghini SV so that I will not only do something for YouTube, but pick a color that was unique and special for this particular car. This is a one-of-one because it's the only Lamborghini Aventador in the world that is wrapped in this new color by Arlon. So what I want to do now is introduce you to the gentleman by the name of Roger Page, who runs Essex Auto Enhancement, and talk about his process for wrapping my Lamborghini Aventador SV. So let's go talk to Roger.
So I'm originally from the east coast of the UK, near Colchester in Essex. I've always had an incredible passion for cars from a very early age. From my first car, I was always very much into modifications, customizations, more so on subtle visual enhancement and also performance as well, really improving upon what the auto manufacturer had brought to the table and really enhancing that experience. So I spent 17 years working in corporate America as a lead scientist for $1 billion American corporation. Sort of grew tired of that life, and as I mentioned, had always had a strong passion in cars, also detailing as well. I had a small startup detailing business in the UK in the infancy of my corporate career that I put on hold just due to successive promotions and opportunities and eventual relocation to the US. So after 17 years, wanted to do something a little different, follow those passions. Had always admired my parents, who were small business owners, other entrepreneurs, and really wanted to give that a real world pursuit. And being into exotic cars and taking part in rallies like Ace Spade and things, realized that there was a huge opportunity in high quality vehicle wraps. I started out on my own vehicles, then went on to do advanced Avery Dennison workshops, and once I had a comfort level, I decided to create Essex Auto Enhancement as a small business, but to pursue that passion and that opportunity that exists in this marketplace here in Ohio.
So we're in Central Ohio. However, for this quality level of a vehicle wrap, I would imagine that a lot of folks would be open to shipping their car to have it wrapped by Essex Auto Enhancement. As you guys will see, the quality level of the install, I'm super excited, super happy with it. So let's talk about the wrap. Okay, so a lot of you guys may know that I actually had the vehicle wrapped a different color, but once the color showed up and we got it on the car, it was a little bit more turquoise in hue than the pictures that I saw of the car, on the internet. So I connected with Roger. He has some connections in the UK, and we were able to ship in this special wrap material from Arlon. I can't remember the color.
Arlon Matte Metallic Aluminium Blue.
Matte Metallic Aluminium.
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 It's a British company, so I'm
Aluminium Blue. So let's talk about the wrap. So I don't know where you want to start but I can start by saying this is definitely one of the best wrap jobs I've ever seen, not only on one of my cars, but on a high-end luxury exotic, period. You guys are going to see the level of detail. You know, I wanted to do some of the body color, you know, in the Arlon Blue, but then also we put some gloss black on it as well.
The gloss black is a relatively new product in the marketplace. The previous wrapper had used Avery Dennison gloss black, which is a staple of the wrap industry. It's a good, competent product. However, we wanted to elevate the quality on this that little bit more. We wanted a material that was much richer black color, but also had that gloss-like finish, more of a paint-like finish.
So can you walk us through the wrap and just show us some of the details of some of the work that you've done? Anything you want to share? Like, one of the things that I wanted to make sure to do was wrap the door jambs, because these doors go up, and at the car shows and things, if I didn't wrap the door jambs, you see a lot of red. So Roger killed it on the install of the door jambs all the way down to, I remember you sent me the picture of this.
Yes.
Right here. I love it. So if you just want to kind of walk us through the wrap and anything you want to share about what it was like to wrap the Lamborghini Aventador.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I think to note is this is now effectively a one-of-one car versus one of 600, purely because this color is so unique. I mean, as you mentioned, it was imported from the UK, and the reason is Arlon, despite the fact that they are a very big established company, are not actually selling the color change fill materials in the US at this time. So it's a European release. As you mentioned, there's very other high profile YouTubers and folks out there that are using this on the material. But what that meant for me as an installer was I was familiar with the brand name. So as a wrapper, it meant that I knew it's a trusted material, it's a brand name. However, I'd never physically experienced the material myself.
Okay.
Every wrap material, whether it's the gloss black that we used or the Arlon body color, has different properties. So as a wrapper, you really have to familiarize yourself with that film prior to installation. So each film has very different physical properties. In terms of how the color may distort as it's stretched, how aggressive the adhesive is, how easy it is to reposition the material when you lay it on the panel to get all the creases and wrinkles out of it as you're squeegeeing it on. So with this car, because the material was new, I started with the flattest panel as any wrapper would do. In this case, it was the hood of the vehicle. Relatively flat panel. However, you do have a number of corners, and obviously every wrapper knows that you got to have a strong corner game to really accentuate that this is not a wrap, it has that paint-like finish.
Definitely.
It's typically the first area that people go to inspect a car. They look down inside the panel to see if they can see traces of the original color and just how clean the install is. So that's where I started off. The material is very different from what I've used before, from Avery to 3M. I wouldn't say it's a beginner material. It's a little bit sticky in terms of the adhesive aggressiveness, but overall it laid nice, and I really built up a confidence level after wrapping the hood here to then begin tackling the rest of the vehicle. So I'd say that the most challenging part was really getting the film to be fed into some of those recesses where we couldn't feasibly remove parts. So you've got a lot of air vents and ducts in here, even the rear quarter that feeds under the matte carbon fiber there. Being a red car, inevitably you're still going to see flashes of red. This isn't a repaint, however there are things that you can do as a wrapper to ultimately mitigate that and get the material as deep as possible. So one thing that I decided earlier on in this wrap is I wanted to really minimize any seams. I know you as a client were happy with a potential seam on the door handles and the mirrors. However, to do a really thorough job that does this car justice and obviously to have the quality that you see here, I wanted to remove as many pieces as I physically could. I'd done some research early on before that you dropped off the car, so I had a hunch that the door was ultimately going to be challenging, and the reason being is to get the quality and the cleanliness that you see here around the door handle and the mirror, you needed to remove those items. On this particular car, to remove those items, that involved completely stripping off the inner carbon fiber door card. Below that door card, you had to remove the entire sound system, so removing all of the speakers, removing the inner insulation panel. So you basically have some weatherproofing the other side of the carbon fiber door card. That had to be removed, and the reason that had to be removed is the glass actually had to be physically removed from the car to enable access to the 5 mirror bolts, I believe it was, to take off the wing mirror. So ordinarily, removing mirror glass isn't too much of an issue. With the Lamborghini, of course, we had the added complexity of a door that lifts vertically. These doors are balanced to the gram on the hydraulic struts. So as soon as you start removing any components, even the lightweight door card, you now need to factor in you have an expensive piece of Lamborghini glass that's also tinted, which adds an element of delicacy to it to not damage or scratch the tint. And you've got a door that's up in the air. So very methodical in the approach. Took a bit of time to do, but I think the results speak to them for themselves, and it was very much a worthwhile endeavor to do so.
So another thing why that's important, and from my perspective as the owner of the vehicle, as Roger was explaining, taking the door apart on a $500,000 car, you want to give your car to somebody that you can trust that can get it done. And so I have to just say that I highly recommend Essex Auto Enhancement, and for the work that they did and the quality of the wrap, of course. But you can't forget that whoever wraps your vehicle may also need to take it apart and put it back together. So that is an important consideration when you're wrapping your car.
Anytime I'm looking to wrap a car, I'm always thinking of longevity. You often see people undertaking work, bragging that it's one piece or it's two piece, and a lot of time there is probability that you can do that and get away with it. But I'm always thinking of longevity. So when you're aggressively heating and stretching and feeding vinyl, ultimately, even with post-heating, it can fail and begin to bubble up. The rocker area of this car was, relatively challenging, and the reason being is this is sort of all satin. From the factory, you wanted it body color. I've got relatively small hands, but to get in here to give you the flawless crisp finish that you see here, I effectively needed to use templates and inlays. So the actual rocker itself, and when I'm referring to the rocker, I'm referring to this entire area here, including the inner sill that marries up with the kick plate. There's actually 13 individual pieces of vinyl. The reason that there's 13 pieces is there's very select inlays on this rocker panel. So pieces like this that are relatively small are individual inlays. So on this section here, this is an individual piece. There's a little inlay up here. There's an inlay here. There's even an individual inlay on this little island that works its way around the door strut mechanism itself. These sections here were they were covered using templates. So as I mentioned, I have small hands, but not small enough to really accurately get in there with knifeless tape. So what I did is I used a sticky material to effectively make a template. This is an additional inlay here. There's an additional inlay up in this recess here, and then the final piece is the large section that basically goes over the top of everything with the seams facing inwards towards the car. So when you physically look over the car, there's no indication that that is not one continuous piece of vinyl. The other challenging element with the Arlon material is it has white backing paper, which means that if there was a seam improperly installed, you would effectively have a white bead of material showing that would just pick up with the human eye that something wasn't quite right.
So let me ask a crucial question. If I wanted to get my vehicle wrapped by you, Roger, at Essex Auto Enhancement, what is the best way for me to get in touch with you?
It would probably be via Instagram. On
Okay.
Instagram, although relatively small, is actively growing. So that is essex.auto.enhancement. And that Instagram page has both my email and direct cell phone number, as well as being able to use the DM feature as well.
So Roger wrapped the car all the way down to the engine bay. So you can see there.
Yeah, so Will's request went a little further than just the door jambs as well. We wanted to take it a step further and do as much as of the engine bay that was feasible in terms of access and quality. So again, because this has a screaming V12, it's kicking out an awful lot of heat. So targeted the engine bay, again with inlays to reduce that stretch, but also because of the complexity of the panels. Now this area is technically sort of out of spec for your typical target area for a vinyl install, so this is very much sort of a test piece of the car. Obviously Will understood that, but you know, I think at this stage everything is looking pretty good. The car's been driven a bit and kicked out some heat, and everything still seems to be in place as it should be.
Awesome. Well, I think you did an awesome job. I am super happy with my wrap on the Lamborghini Aventador SV. So you guys who are serious about getting a high quality wrap done on your vehicle, especially if you have like an exotic or something that you are very meticulous with, I highly recommend Roger at Essex Auto Enhancement, and I will drop a link to his Instagram page in this video. But I'm super happy with how the wrap came out. I think it came out awesome. It's almost like I feel like I have a new car. So I want to thank Roger again for the awesome work, and stay tuned for some major modifications coming as well. I have the brilliant exhaust with the downpipes, so to shoot fire. I have a tune coming from VF Engineering, and I have lowering springs from Novitec as well, and I have new wheels from Velos Design. So you guys stay tuned for that next video. All right, so we're getting ready to drop it off right now for an exhaust and lowering springs by Novitec, the exhaust by Brilliant. So I'll meet Brian up here to get the exhaust installed. Then of course I'll have to get it tuned by BF Engineering. So shout out to BF. It's back here. Man, that color is sick. That color's sick, man. That color's sick. Much nicer than red. All I gotta do is drop that thing and it's gonna be A1. Looks like a shark. Let's just enjoy this beauty shot right here. It sounds good under load. In a strange turn of events, look who we have here. The man himself. So this is the gentleman that's going to work on the Lamborghini SV. We're doing lowering springs. We're going to drop it. We're doing downpipes to get the brilliant exhaust all right. We're doing wheels, Velos Design wheels. And this is the gentleman right here, Brian. You guys follow him. What's your Instagram? Why you so? Why you always Brian? Y'all go follow Brian on Instagram. But yeah, you guys want to come to the tour barn and get your car modded out? This is my guy right here.
It's the one and only Floyd Money Mayweather. I'm here to tell you guys to go to Wheel Motivation. The exotic cars is crazy. Now I've been watching this show for a little while now and it's growing. But we need everybody else to subscribe to Wheel Motivation and support Wheel. I'm supporting them. You do the same.